In the kingdom of Agu, the wind was not free. The elders said it had once been wild, a spirit of the sky, loud, playful, full of mischief. But long ago, the king trapped it in a golden flute sealed inside the royal shrine. Since then, wind only came when called, and only for the crown. Without the king's permission, the world stood still. No breeze for farmers. No gust for fishermen's sails. No storms. No whispers. Just heat. Just stillness. But in a village at the edge of Agu, a girl was born on the night the wind escaped, for just 1 hour, from the flute's prison. Her name was Ayamai. It meant breath. That night, a violent gust cracked open the king's shrine, howled through the trees, and vanished into the hills. People said it ran into her cradle. That it wrapped itself into her soft baby curls and sighed, as if finally home. From the day she took her first step, the air around her trembled. Her hair floated even when the world was still. Leaves moved when she passed. Fire refused to touch her skin. Birds followed her silently. People stared, frightened and fascinated. Her mother, a widowed cloth dyer, tried to hide her. Tied down her hair with heavy scarves. Kept her away from the city. Told her, "You must never let the king know what you carry." But Ayama was growing. And so was the wind inside her. She could feel it in her scalp, swirling, speaking. Not in words, but in pulse. When she was angry, doors slammed. When she cried, roofs shifted. When she laughed, the trees danced. At night, her braids untangled themselves and fluttered against the window, restless. At 13, the wind began whispering to her clearly. "Let us go. We were not made for cages. We were born to run." One morning, she stood on a cliff overlooking the dry farmlands and whispered into her own hair, "Why me?" And the wind replied, "Because you are not afraid." But fear came soon enough. Word reached the palace that wind had been seen in the forbidden village. A girl with floating hair. A storm in her shadow. Soldiers came. Searched their village and couldn't catch Ayamai. They burned their hut and took her mother instead, threatened her, bound her hands, dragged her through the town square, and locked her in a dark, cold room in the palace. She was beaten for answers. Threatened with fire. But she said only one thing. "If the wind is with her, you can't stop her." Weeks passed. She was forgotten in that cell. Ayamai ran into the forest. The wind showed her the path. It twisted the trees behind her, blocked arrows in midair, blew sand into the eyes of soldiers. She lived in the mountains for weeks, eating fruit, drinking dew, listening to the voice in her hair. And one day, she stopped running. She stood on the tallest peak, faced the capital city in the distance, and said, "If the king wants the wind, he can hear it roar." That night, Ayamai came down from the mountain like a storm. She didn't walk, she flew. Her feet touched the ground like thunderclaps. Her hair spun like a tornado. The skies obeyed her. Thunder clapped her name. When she reached the palace gates, the guards laughed. Until the wind lifted them into the sky and dropped them into the king's garden. She stepped into the great hall barefoot. The king, old, draped in gold, shaking behind his throne, raised the golden flute to his lips and tried to summon the wind. Nothing came. Ayamai stepped forward. Her hair, now silver at the tips, curled like a living thing. The wind howled. Not for the king, but for her. The stained glass windows shattered. Curtains twisted. The golden flute cracked down the middle. And then the wind spoke through her voice, for the first time. "We are not yours. We are not tools. We are not slaves. We are breath. We are life. We are freedom. And we choose her." With a final gust, the pillars of the palace collapsed, not crushing, but cleansing. The people poured out into the streets, watching a girl in a storm made only for her. I turned to the crowd. Her scarf blew away. They saw her head, glowing, moving, alive. They knelt. Not in fear. In awe. Years passed. The flute was never repaired. The king vanished. I never ruled, but she walked among the people. Wherever she went, droughts ended. Seeds bloomed. Children danced with breeze at their backs. No crown. No throne. Just her, the girl with wild hair and soft eyes. And when she grew old, they say she climbed the mountain one last time. And became the wind completely. Now, when the breeze touches your cheek in the heat of day, or lifts your wrapper while you dance, or kisses your back as you walk alone, that's her. The girl who hid the wind in her hair, and set it, and us, free.